Hey guys, this is Mike Moo from Mike Moo Online, Mike Moo Gadget Review. This is the PowerPod 360. It's a 360-degree vibration-based speaker. If you guys haven't seen this before, basically it takes the central portion of a speaker and puts it in this little cylindrical pod, and it sends out the vibrations through this bottom base, which is slightly sticky, onto any surface that you stick it on. So the idea is that it actually sends the vibrations through anything that you're sticking on and then makes the entire surface a speaker. So it's basically a very portable speaker on the go that transforms whatever it is that you stick it on into a speaker. And that's why it's called a vibration speaker. Now the biggest question you might have was that, well, does it work? And how well does it work? And does it sound any good? Is it worthwhile to buy? Okay, so this retails for about $50 US. There's various combinations that you can find at certain trade shows or promotions in the store. This one's particularly sold over at Sam's Club, where you can get like one for $40 or three for $30 a piece. So, first of all, you can't tell from this from the feeling of this, but this is actually quite dense and very heavy. It is just like a solid. It weighs a good pound or so. Definitely feels that way anyway. And this particular unit actually has a feature to allow you to play MP3s directly from micro SD that you plug in here. I'm going to go ahead and assume you can stick up to 16 gigabyte micro SDs in there. This is also USB powered capable through mini USB. It comes with this one cable that I've seen in other micro portable speakers as well, which basically combines the USB plug on one end, where you plug in the charge, and then the audio output if you need to plug into an analog device, which you will because it doesn't have Bluetooth or any other wireless technologies. And then a mini USB port, which then plugs in and serves as both the charging and the input jack from the speaker. So for most people, you're going to be carrying around like this with this little dinky cable here in order to get it working. Now, first, the good things. It does work, and it does work as advertised. You stick it on any surface, and it transforms that whole entire surface into a speaker, which is cool because you do have the capability to basically stick it in a nice big box and then produce sounds that definitely sound like it came from a bigger speaker than what you see in this little handheld thing. The problem with that is that the quality of your sound that comes out of it is going to be based heavily on what it is that you stick on top of. So if you stick it on top of pots and pans, metal pots and pans, it tends to sound a little bit more tinny. You stick it on a nice wooden speaker cabinet, it tends to sound richer and deeper. You stick it on, I think the demo that they had was you stick it in a cooler, and you have somewhat decent sound coming out from this little tiny device. So there's some strengths and weaknesses there. It has a built-in lithium-ion battery, and I like the battery life. The battery life seems to last quite a long time when you're actually actively using it. However, I found that in standby, the power seems to leak. I think there's just power leakage throughout the whole thing, even when you have it in the off. Of course, it could be because this button here, or this switch here, is actually very easy to press and move by mistake, or you could possibly leave it on without really knowing it. At least they have an LED light to let you know what's going on. The green means it's on, red means it's charging and possibly on. Volume control switch is over here, kind of like a toggle, so you kind of toggle it to the right or the positive to turn up the volume, and then down to lower the volume. It works. It's not that great. Now, is it worth it for you? Well, this is actually pretty dense, okay? So it feels like a much bigger speaker than it really is. Now, that's the feeling. The sound could sound like a much bigger speaker than it is in terms of size-wise. So if you're around a lot of things that may vibrate well, or if you have like a cooler that you carry around with, and you want to empty the cooler, or you have various surfaces that tend to vibrate, that might sound good. Think of it like a speaker box, then you might be satisfied with it. However, I find that I'm finding it a little bit difficult to use because one, it's not wireless. If this was Bluetooth capable, I'd find it much more useful than having to carry around this cable, which, while isn't exactly proprietary, isn't exactly something you could easily find offhand. And I'm also finding that because I'm not finding any really good surfaces to go ahead and stick it on. I mean, I can turn this into a speaker box just by sticking on here, but it really doesn't sound that great when you do that. Let me go ahead and give you a demonstration by putting in my voice recorder, and you can see how it sounds like. Okay, so I just did a really quick recording on my iPhone 5.
Okay, so I'm just doing a test recording app off my iPhone, and I'm recording what I'm saying right now, and...
Okay, so that's pretty much the sound that I hear from the iPhone. Doesn't sound all that great, right? But with this device, which weighs like practically feels like 8 or 10 iPhone 5s, if I go ahead and plug this in, I'll have to bring in the cable, right? Because there's no wireless capability, and this cable is just kind of a pain to carry around, honestly. And then I plug this directly into my headphone jack, and then I turn it on. Make sure I flip it over to the on switch, not the micro SD switch. I'm just going to stick it on this little surface that I have here. I'm going to play it back so you can hear it.
It's just recording. I'm moving it around, of course, just a little bit, just to record a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and play that back through the speaker.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just doing a test recording app off my iPhone, and I'm recording what I'm saying right now. And
so I don't know if you can tell from the recording, but there's a little bit of distortion coming out from the speaker. Now, I used to think that it was basically because of the surface that I have the this little Pod 360 speaker on, but it turns out that even inside it has distortion. So that kind of muddles up the sound quality a bit for me. On lower volumes, I don't see that distortion as much. Okay, so now I'm putting the surface on the box that the speaker box came in.
It is just recording. I'm moving it around, of course, just a little bit, just to record a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and play that back through the speaker.
Okay, so do you hear that?
Recording what I'm saying right now.
This is what it sounds like if you don't have it
I'm moving it around,
on anything.
Of course, just a little bit, just to record a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and play that back through the speaker.
Okay, so the quality of the I'm going to call it a transducer. I'm not sure if that's the proper term for it. But the quality of the transducer is not really that awesome. So just from within the box and sending out the signals through here, it's not getting the best sound quality coming out already. And then you're asking it to utilize whatever it is that you have on hand to become a speaker, and then you end up with results that are less than desirable. So at $50, I can't really particularly say that I recommend this.
Okay, so I'm just doing a test recording app off my iPhone, and
but it sure beats trying to bring something bigger. You're going to be somewhat hard-pressed to find something that can produce as big of a sound as this possibly can. As long as you're not very picky at all, and I do mean not picky at all in terms of the quality of sound that you get. If you come in with low expectations in terms of what this is going to give and do for you in terms of sound, then I think in some cases you'll be pleasantly surprised. If anything, I think it's a lot of fun because you can stick it on almost any hard surface and come up with better quality sound than if you just play it without anything.
What I'm saying right now, and it is just recording.
This is nothing. Sounds really muffled.
Just record.
And you stick it on something else.
And then I'm going to go ahead and play that back through the speaker.
And it sounds just a lot better.
Okay, so I'm just doing a test recording.
So that's kind of cool, but at $50, I'm going to give it a pass. At $40, I'm also going to give it a pass, meaning I'm probably going to pass on buying this. At $30, it could be something to consider. Okay, well, this is Mike Moo from Mike Moo Online Gadget Review, and this is just a quick review of the PowerPod 360 360-degree vibration speaker. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.